And we're live. Hello, YouTube. What's up? It's been a good 5 minutes before we've blessed your screens, me and Spazmo. I'm sorry if you forgot my name. I know I haven't been here for a while. I've got a new background. We've got a new podcast. I'm calling this.
It's got another name.
Season 2. It's I want to try doing concise, small ones, so not doing 3-hour fucking. Damn it! I've already said the F word. We're demonetized on YouTube. It didn't take that long. We're going to try a concise podcast because I want a game. That's probably the reason. Follow me on Twitch if you want to see me game after this, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube for some god-known reason. We got Spazmo here. Welcome for the third time on my podcast. How you going, my friend?
Thank you. I might as well be a co-host.
Co-host? Yeah, he's my anchor. He's my co-anchor. Today we're gonna...
Thank you for having me back again.
Today we have him.
I enjoy it.
We have his new background of his floor food everywhere in his background, as you can see.
Yeah, well, you sort of get a double background because it's like with the first part on the this side, you get the pelicans, you get the bed frame, but over here you get the pelicans again and more of the bed.
Have you got 2 rooms? You're crazy.
I technically do.
Roomception.
The other rooms with more got storage and shit in it, just like an armchair where I can like recline it and some of the air conditioning and the fan if it gets too fucking hot at night. But
have a rest.
Yes.
How's your week been on Twitch?
Week has been good, man. It's I've had a lot of growth this week. A lot of
girth.
Yeah, it's like the last month has been more like, you know, people coming in, dropping sub bombs, dropping bits, and all that sort of stuff. But in the last last week, last 5 days or so, I'm looking at my feed now, and it's just follow raid, follow raid. Yeah,
I like when that
so
happens.
the growth is good. The growth has been quite good this week. Like,
that's good to hear. Good report.
I mean, I'm just sort of scrolling down. It's like, you know, it's like raid, gift sub, donation, bits, gift sub.
Wow, weird flex, dude.
It is a little bit of a weird flex. But you scroll up and it's just, you've got the follows going at the moment, which is fucking dope. So
that is dope. I'm glad.
I've been on that train at the moment.
I'm really low for some reason. No, I'm not. I keep jumping everywhere. Okay, I'm going to try position my head so my audio is not going everywhere. I'll just do a little troubleshooting.
That's all right, man. Do what you need to do.
Do what you got to do, you know. That should be good now. No, that's... Okay, that'll be fine. It's all good. It'll be fine. I'm sure.
What about you? What about you? Have you been? How's the?
I haven't streamed all week, so I can't really comment.
This is your first. So this is your first.
This is my first time coming
/ streaming.
But lately, it's been fun. As you can see, I haven't been on YouTube because that means I'm having fun on Twitch. As you can see.
Well,
the games are getting good
between the both. That's kind of cool. I mean, I wish I had the editing skills or just the power.
No way.
To do both.
YouTube's a grind. You don't want to get caught in it.
I don't want to get caught in the YouTube
grind algorithm.
That's fair enough.
What about Twitter? Well, I always like to comment on Twitter. I'm a Twitter man.
Twitter is pretty fun. I mean, I personally, you know, I don't do the whole trend thing.
Well, you're not a trendsetter.
But you know, it is nice to jump on and see how everyone's freaking out about the coronavirus. And
exactly.
I'm just going to jump straight into the point here. We're going to skip the topics we're going to talk about. I'm just going to jump straight in. Stop buying fucking toilet paper. You don't need that much. You don't need that. I walked into the supermarket a couple of days ago, and just like you're seeing all over the thing, there is no toilet paper in any of the aisles.
I didn't even look today. I went and bought chicken tendies, and I didn't look.
Yeah, but it's like I went late last night to the supermarket, and every aisle had a big cart sitting at the end of it, waiting for them to shut up so the restockers could come and just restock everything.
Disgusting.
And I'm pretty sure on most carts there was like canned food and all that sort of stuff. So it's like the 2 main things that are missing from the supermarkets at the moment, I'm pretty sure in this order, is toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and canned food.
And I got on the bandwagon of doing onion news. If you follow me on Twitter, you can get some meme news now. And I've got, this is legit sources. I've got legit sources. Went down, asked a local man what's going on. He said it's not because of the coronavirus, it's because of the mummy convention, dude.
The mummy.
Everyone's gonna get dressed up. Yeah.
I saw a bit of that. That was
I got
kind of funny.
Got more confirmation. You know, I've just got the insiders everywhere, so I can bring you now 100% reliable news.
Yay!
With headlines, I've got insiders everywhere around, and they feed me memes to report back to you. So make sure you follow my Twitter.
You just sort of tag me in weird broken shit anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah,
but,
and if you want to be tagged in memes, I can tag you.
Yeah, no, tag me in memes. I'm happy to be tagged in memes. Yeah, but I guess getting down to the topics that you wanted to speak to, we're going to sort of just hush over tonight.
Yes, the little quick one, because we've got to get into it. We've got to get into it. It's going to be too late. Or should I start? So
yeah, it's your podcast.
This episode, I've been listening to a fellow man's Reese Darby's podcast. Is that his name? What's his name? I've got it up here. Reese Darby. Aliens with Us, that's what it's called. It's like it's a small condensed podcast. They just talk about weird stuff. They talked about, I think they're only going to be talking about aliens, but each week they bring on an expert. We don't have an expert. I'm a meme expert and Spazmo's invader expert, so we've got that. But this week we're going to be talking about Australian legends or / folklore. So I gave the assignment to Spazmo, and we hopped on. I hopped on, did some research. I don't know if Spazmo did any research.
Well, I know a lot about the drop bear because I like to prank tourists.
That's cool. That's cool. So we have that. So we have experts. This is an expert podcast, as you could tell.
Fully expert.
Fully expert. So for all the international viewers, what I'm about to talk to, and maybe some national viewers of Australia, I'm talking about the Yowies, the Australian Yowie. It's like a legend. It's sort of similar to, what's his name? Bigfoot. That, I think that is it a Native American law?
Well, so there's a couple of from my understanding, there's a couple of iterations of the Yowie. So
yes.
The Yowie, the first one is the Yowie is basically the Australian knockoff of Kinder Surprise eggs.
Exactly. I have really fond memories of that chocolate. It used to be my favourite chocolate.
The other one is it's an Aboriginal like story time thing. So it's it's only brought up around campfires and in story time, and because you got to remember with the Aboriginal people, their story time is like, that's how they respect their dead and all that sort of stuff. And Yowie is sort of one of those folklore. I didn't quite know the story to be pinpointed, but it's like
it's very complex. I had a look into it, and there's like researchers of this. It's so complex. Yeah. You can have a look at it. Just search
the Yowie. From my understanding, the Yowie is some sort of, I guess, being that comes, and it not only does it deal with judgment, but also make sure that the dead reach the dream world.
Jesus.
Almost like a Grim Reaper sort of thing, but without the sort of scythe and the skull mask and hood sort of thing. But I mean, there's a couple of pictures online, and it fucking looks fucking scary as fuck. So I mean, if something like that came out of the dark to collect me, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna fight this.
I've got a little story to tell. It's an interactive story that you're gonna have to tell at the end. First, we're going to go through the chocolate. We've got to explain the chocolate for everyone that doesn't know. It started in 1995, and it was really popular in Australia during the 1990s and early 2000s. But then it just shut down. It ceased existence. I forgot about it past like 2000. And then they came back in 2017 or something like that. It came back recently after like a decade of no sales.
It's just like everything else. It sort of disappeared in the late 90s or early 2000s.
Yes. And it actually launched, I figured out today, in the US market. The relaunch was in the US market. And Singapore, Japan, UK, and then I think eventually it hit Australian shelves, but Australia wasn't the first to see the relaunch.
Well, yeah, as I was saying, it seems to be like, like things everywhere across the world. So it's like in America, you know, they might stop making the original Twinkies, but you might see them in American candy stores here, or
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, and
That's
then
what we
they
find
finally hit shelves at home again. So I haven't seen this in years. Let's grab this again. It goes through a phase of being popular again. So it's
back
like,
and forward. Yep, that's it.
you know. So basically, the idea was Kinder Surprise. So when you're at the supermarket with mum and dad, Kinder Surprise was sort of like the top of the line, sort of like
It still is.
nagging mum to get at the supermarket. So because it was like they used to place them in really fucking good spots for kids' eyes. So as a kid, they're at your eye level. As for a parent, they're sort of at your waist level. So
It's at your shit level.
As a kid, it's like the first thing as you're going through the supermarket checkout, you got fucking Kinder Surprise in your face. And it's like, Mom, I want that. I want that. Mom. You know?
Which was your favourite one? Because they had many. They had Buff, the bottle brush yowie, Crag, the mangrove yowie, Ditty, the lily pilly yowie, Nap, the honey gum yowie, Rumble, the red gum yowie, and Squish, the fiddlewood yowie.
Well, personally,
I'm a Rumble fan.
Kinder Surprise was overly better because they had it's like not only did you make them, but they were just little simple toys. They weren't actual like figurines. Like I've never got into the whole figurine, so I never got into the bobblehead things or those little what are those little things that people collect now that are in the boxes that are
Funk Pop or whatever it is.
Yeah, pop figures or whatever.
Pop Funk or whatever it is.
Yeah, so I never got into any of that sort of shit. So I never got into figurines. I mean, I did do there was a spell where I was really into the whole tabletop Warhammer sort of thing and did the whole painting and stuff like that, but I ended up selling all that shit. But I mean, the point is that it's Kinder Surprise is my thing. I love the Kinder Surprise because they gave you like little spin tops, they gave you like these cool little like magic toys sort of thing. It was always something different. It was sort of like the Yowies was sort of like you had 9 or 8, and that was it.
Exactly.
You know, and all they did the change was the colors. That's probably why they went out of business, is because they were just like the 8 different versions, and that was it. There was nothing special. But the difference between the Yowies and the Kinder Surprise is the Kinder Surprise were egg shaped, and the Yowies were like almost double the size.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the history or the folklore of it, there's actually been claims that the Yowie coexisted centuries ago with the people of Australia, the Indigenous people. And some detailed include histories of attacks and wars. I mean, that would be scary as shit, fighting a 6-foot hairy monster. Because Yowies in real life, or speculated in real life, are like the Sasquatch. So they're big, hairy, ape-looking crazy things that run around, and people don't really know what they're looking at when they see them. Because there's been sightings. I have brought up a sighting near me, and it was it a trucker? Okay, I'll read it word for word so you'll know. I am not the one to cite it, but my brother and my mate did. And this was at 1 a.m. in the morning on a road near my town. So you can bring up a map and see where people have sighted on this website. It's crazy. And basically they're extremely fast and drove into the scrub, so they're probably a kangaroo, but...
Well, I mean, you got every time there's a Bigfoot, like in America, there's Bigfoot sighting. All the pictures are fucking blurry.
Yeah.
There, you know, it's that crazy person who lives alone by themselves in the end of the forest. You know, it's never just a normal person driving home. And if it's a normal person driving home and go, "Oh, it was so fast, I couldn't really tell. It's probably like a deer." You know, there are all these and there are a few things. So there are a few levels where I can see this being true, and a few levels where it's just bullshit. So you've got your top level where it's like people who obviously got nothing better to do with their time. The sort of what you would call your bored housewife types. You got nothing better to do with their time but make up fake news, pretty much. So that's where you get all the blurry pictures. That's where you get people dressing in costumes,
photoshopping.
Photoshopping and all that sort of bullshit. Then you get the people who are just like me and you who are driving. It's like they see something, but they don't know what they've seen, so they're just going to go the closest thing that they know of. So in this case, it's a deer, or
if I saw something I didn't know, I would shit myself because I'm always
it was a big kangaroo, but your mind would be telling you
another thing
that it's something that and then there's the whole thing where it's like maybe there are things on our planet that we just haven't seen or can't
undiscovered.
Undiscovered. So what's actually true, we won't know until those things are found, captured, or whatever it is, and that's just human nature. Until those things happen, we won't know. But yeah,
I'd be scared shitless though, because I'll be like listening to a horror podcast. So my imagination's probably already suspend the disbelief. I'm already out there when I'm driving.
And I just realised I've had my fucking web thing over my chat window, so my chat's been popping off, and I haven't been looking at it.
Wow.
Pro streamer here, guys.
Wow. I better turn off alerts.
They're out there. Yes, Blue, they're out there. Spaz and Expo on one specific outlet. This is true. Blue, Spaz, can you? Yeah, Blue. I do chauffeured work, so I can give you those details if you're ever in Adelaide and you need a private chauffeur.
Okay, let's go. Do you want to hear my story that you have to pick your destiny?
You mean?
So I'm going to read it out, and it's going to be like a telltale story. You're going to pick some options. It's going to be quick time, and I'm going to tell you if you can survive a Yowie attack. I'm not a expert. This is just fiction. It's based on the chocolate monsters, so they're going to be coming after you.
All right.
So this is you. I was driving down a lone, desolate road when suddenly my brakes wouldn't work. I was travelling about 130 kilometres an hour, and this figure launched out from behind the tree onto the road. I swerved, hitting it, but veering my car down the ditch. Recovering from the crash, I opened my eyes to see a 6-foot, hairy beast standing next to me.
Just pause. Just a quick pause. If I'm driving 130 kilometers an hour and I hit a ditch, I'm going to be concussed.
You are fine.
Minimum.
You have your seatbelt on.
And I bet the CES guy, the country fire service guy, probably looks like a 6-foot savior, holy light beast right now. So you go on, continue. Okay, I understand the premise of this thing. First thing that happens, concussion. Right.
Okay.
Move on.
Here's your options. So you're just sitting in your car and you're a bit shaken from the crash. Do you remain silent and hope the figure doesn't see you? Do you try to get out of your car, or do you look into the glove department for a weapon?
We're in Australia, right?
Yes, you're in Australia.
So the extent of my weapon is going to be a hammer or at most a knife.
You'll find out if you go that option.
All right. So what was there an option to play dead? Is that?
I remain silent and hope it doesn't see me. I try to get out of my car.
I just drove past it at 100 kilometers an hour. It's definitely seen me.
Yes.
Let's go for the look in the glove box.
You get a lighter.
I have a lighter.
Yes.
Do I have a can deodorant?
No, just a lighter.
Oh, well, that's not fucking working, is it?
Do you try to get out of the car, or do you remain silent now?
I guess try to get out of the car.
Okay, the Yowie then grabs you as you try to get out of the car as he's seen a sudden movement. Do you fight back, scream, or spit in its face?
Well, I'm going to scream if it just picks me up with one hand.
Okay. Yowie is stunned and drops you. Do you run for it, or do you regain your footing and attempt to fight on balanced ground?
6 foot. How heavy is it? Do we have a weight?
200 kg, like massive.
Yeah, I'm going to run.
You're going to run for it? In what direction? In what direction do you run? North, south, west, or east?
Which way is the road?
That's what you got to find out.
Well, if I'm just gonna go. Let's run north. That's running into him, isn't it?
Instant death. Yeah, he grabs you and pulls your stomach from your throat. There you go. That's your ending,
from
dude.
my throat. So
yes.
he like rips me like
he's a savage beast,
predator style. And sticks his head.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
if you ran south, you would have won.
Yeah.
Because you get hit by a passing car and the Yowie is never seen again.
I get hit by a passing car.
Yes, so you die, but you win the game.
So I die anyway. Okay, yeah. Right.
If you ran west, you keep running until dehydration strickens you and you die.
All these options are death. All right. So what does east do for me?
East, you run to the nearest town and report it to your local police station. He then puts you under arrest.
So basically, it's death or being arrested.
Or
these are shit options. So where did I make the wrong turn to get those shit options? Was it
no? So if you remain silent and hope it didn't see you, that was the first option. That was instant death. It just rips you apart.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, which is fair. Yeah.
And basically, if you look in the blood compartment, you just follow the same thing as trying to get out of the car. So I only made like 2 true. I'll get better. I'll get better at this.
So, so basically, my options were death, 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 run, death, arrested.
Well, if you ran south, you won because it didn't kill you. The car killed you.
Yeah, the car killed me. I might as well have just died in the car accident. What the fuck? This is bad.
This is the best Telltale story ever. This is
a horrible Telltale story.
This is what I'm doing every podcast. This was so good. This was by far the best thing I've ever made. I'm a genius.
That was ridiculous. Why do you have a hammer? Blue neon. I mean, don't ask.
Don't question. Don't question.
Silly answers. Yeah.
Rightio. I want to learn about the drop bear.
You want to learn about the drop bear? Okay, so
and I know nothing about the drop bear.
My folklore story was the drop bear. All right, so okay, so basically the drop bear is basically what us locals tell foreigners. Actually, is to avoid koalas, which isn't the case. But basically, the whole premise around the story was the drop bear folklore was made up to stop tourists camping under gum trees in the 90s. Or sorry, in the 1900s. Sorry, because what would happen is during the 1900s, tourists and foreigners would come to Australia, not understanding that gum trees in high winds, storms, and just randomly on still nights, just decide to drop their limbs. And these dropped limbs of gum trees weigh anywhere between 100 kilos to half a ton. Or more in some cases, depending how big the tree is. So the drop bear is effectively what you'd call a koala on rabies, with rabies or something. Which, I mean, again, that is not able to happen, but it's just there are pictures on the internet of looking crazy, looking vampirish, looking fucking horrid. And the whole point of that is don't go, it's like, and because koalas ate eucalyptus leaves, don't camp near gum trees, because if you walk under them, a drop bear drops on you. As the folklore goes, don't camp under them because the gum trees drop their limbs. So
I did not know that. Do you know? I'm an Australian. I did not know that.
Yeah, so no, it was a big thing back in the 90s. People would find their campsites with people in their tents with limbs on top of them, and they're dead, or in most cases very badly injured. Because these limbs weigh half a ton, depending on the gum tree. That they have huge limbs. Like I've got gum trees on my family property in the country, and it dropped its limb, and it's as big as a tree in some cases.
It's kind of like palm trees. We have palm trees up north.
I'm a big dude, and I can just wrap my arms around me, myself. You try and wrap your hands around those trees, and I can't even get an arm around it. That's how big some of these trees are. Like, and when there's big winds and stuff, it just drops these fucking limbs. And so, as I've said, the drop bear myth was brought up to scare tourists from camping under gum trees. And
don't camp under palm trees either. You will die.
As a typical Australian, we make stupid analogies and jokes to scare ourselves and to scare locals into not doing things. So it's like, there's this song that's on YouTube. It's like, don't come to Australia because everything fucking kills you.
It does. Do not come to Australia.
And it just goes through the list of all the things that can kill you. So it's like we have this huge list of spiders and huge list of poisonous snakes. And, there are other things as well. So it's like the funnel web spider is a big one, especially New South Wales and Sydney sort of area and Canberra. One of the other ones
thing is deadly.
Yeah, it's deadly. It's a bite from it will kill you. And one of the other songs, there's a song that you used to play in primary school as a kid where you don't go sticking your fingers in holes because it could be a spider. But it's so as a kid, you're crawling around, you're sticking your fingers and shit. But it's like you see a hole, you see a dirt mound hole, you don't touch it. It's like
rattlesnakes.
Yeah, and it's like especially this is more if you're in the country or even just around your house. You don't pick up something that you got to lip your fingers under. So, like, let's say if you got a big garden pot, you don't put your fingers under it without checking underneath it because of redbacks.
And you are also on that. You don't lift the pot towards you. You lift the pot away, like so it faces away from you.
Yeah, for snakes underneath. If we're thinking of fucking Australia kill you, you go into your backyard to do a bit of housework, it will fucking kill you.
Yep.
They're just little things. It's just and as adults you just adapt and all these things, but you don't realize as a kid what these things are trying to tell you. You just think they're fun little giddy songs. But then it's like I remember this very well when I think I was a teenager. I was doing some yard work for my dad. And you know how when you sort of just get into robot mode and you just sort of sing little songs to yourself or you hum stuff or whatever.
Talk to yourself.
And I can't remember the song now because it was so long ago. But I was humming and singing to the song about snakes under things, right? And I go to lift up something away properly, and a 3-meter brown snake like uncurls itself and runs across the lawn.
Jesus, that's scary.
Like it scared the shit out of me, and I want to grab like an iron post and beat it to fucking death. But it's because I had dogs outside, so you just have to do it. No, don't call fucking Peter on me, people. Jesus, but it's
Peter.
There are things. So brown snakes are poisonous when you got dogs that are work animals and stuff like that. It's one or the other.
Exactly. They can harm little kids and whatnot. So sometimes now they're more focused on relocating them. But previous generations would just.
Yeah, my dad gets the 20. Well, Dad always keeps the 22 locked up, but we know where the key is in case of the snake. So we use.
But that's it. I suppose from their perspective, they're only really killing one. Like, I know it's still a life, and we got to cherish every life.
Yeah, especially after the bushfires, every animal counts.
Well, we got to understand both ways. But I've never killed anything, so I don't know how it feels like, and I definitely in no position to comment on that. But just clarifying your story, how things are different sometimes. Defending.
Hey, Shadow. Hey,
you're gonna get cancelled now, Spazmo.
Yeah, wait.
Peter's gonna cancel you.
Peter's gonna cancel me. Yeah, that's exactly right. Peter's gonna cancel me.
Cancer culture.
Use the trusty old thong. No, the trusty old thong probably would have given me back. So I had a metal. So one of the at my place on the property. So it's the dog cages are up on a pallet, and then the pallet underneath is all wrapped with chicken wire, so snakes can't get under there and all that sort of shit. And there's a metal stake there in case. It's primarily what the metal stake is there by the dog cage. It's not there to hold anything up. It's there to beat snakes to death if they try to go after the dogs. But yeah, anyway, back to the folklore history. So yeah. Drop bears were something made up to not only to educate children in schools, but to also warn tourists of camping and sleeping or going under gum trees under heavy weather, under windy conditions, whatever you want to call it, because they drop their limbs. Spooky. And when they drop their limbs, it's a good example is I had this gum tree in our backyard where I used to live, in one of the property and the cottage that we used to live in before my grandfather passed away and we moved up the hill to a bigger house. But it's the cottage that I grew up in had this huge gum tree in the backyard, and there were a few of them along the tree at the fence line into the next paddock and stuff in between a couple of houses. But there was this one in the corner of our backyard, and we were right near the driveway cattle grate. So basically, we had a lot of trucks, like, V-dubs, like, the big fucking trucks come through for livestock and stuff. And my dad got woken up in the middle of the night thinking that a V-dub truck was coming through because he was expecting the trucks to come through. So he was getting up early to go, so woke him up as it went over the cattle gate because it's big, it's fucking loud, it rumbles, the house sort of rattles a little bit. And no, actually what happened is it was windy that night, and the gum tree out the backyard dropped a huge fucking limb, and it vibrated so much that he thought that it was a V-dub crossing the cattle grate. Like that's how fucking heavy that these limbs are. It's like it's
an entire tree just dropping down.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's not from like gum trees have huge limbs, and they've got a decent amount of trunk before you start getting the limbs coming out of them, especially older and bigger ones.
I did not know. I just thought it was a horror story to tell tourists about koala bears to get scared.
And that's how it is. Shadow says hello, by the way. There are people saying hello.
Hello.
To you, but yeah, there are things.
Follow us on Twitch so you can interact as well.
Yeah. So there are Twitch Spazmo 5. There are the whole point of the gumtree dropping its limbs is so it rejuvenates the tree, obviously, you know, so it's affecting the tree so much that it's gonna fall, it could fall over. So when the wind comes, it's almost like like us getting rid of like parts of ourselves that we don't want, like cancerous moles, all that sort of shit. So if the tree drops its limbs, it reseeds around in the area, and it also drops what could pull the tree over and possibly kill it. But yeah, the whole point around the koala drop bear was because drop bear also meant drop limbs. Yeah,
very interesting.
Because the whole premise of the drop bear is that it drops out of the tree and lands on you and fucks you up.
Scares the shit out of you.
Well, you know, the drop limb falls out of the tree and fucks you up also.
It's like running down a ditch doing 130 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure with that analogy, if I ran into a ditch 130 kilometers an hour. One, why the speed limit is 110, then why the fuck am I doing 130? Secondly, if I'm going into a ditch 130, it's like, yep, see you world. It's like, that few minutes of hang time you get when you're going a bit far. Over the top of the hill, or when you're on a motorbike or whatever. It's like, and you sort of light flash between your eyes and you go, shit.
Shit,
130 into a ditch. And like I said, if I'm pretty sure it's like I've been concussed, so Yowie's not too far out of the imagination.
Anyway, I think it's time to get into games. We did it, boy.
No, we didn't talk about the coronavirus.
We did talk about the coronavirus.
We talked about it briefly. We need to hash up. So
hash it up.
Basically, everyone who's going on about the coronavirus is not something to worry about. It only kills fucking elderly and very, very young. Stop buying so much fucking toilet paper. Again, with the message of the toilet paper.
Exactly. Toilet paper is just weird. Why the hell would you buy that? I don't understand.
It's, again, soccer moms panicking.
Just clean your bum with some water if you run out.
Yeah, exactly. Radiation. It's just the flu. It's just the flu. It's not going to kill you. I mean, if you get pneumonia and all that, pneumonia can fucking kill you.
Well, that's what does kill you.
People are overreacting for.
Most of the people that have died don't die from coronavirus.
No, they're dying from other things.
Pneumonia, they develop some pneumonia and stuff like that, which is deadly. So yeah,
which is deadly. But I mean, if you're in the right care, then you should be fine.
We're lucky in Australia.
Yes,
it hit Africa, so that's not good.
No, that's a bit fucked. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly, Shadow. Yeah, cancer kills more people in a single day. Yeah,
starvation even kills more people. So.
Yeah, and so Bench just said, "I just got over pneumonia." So there are more things that will kill you. I drive for a living, so every day I get in my car, I'm more likely to die than someone with cancer, pneumonia, all of them combined. So there you go.
There you go. Putting it into perspective.
Putting it in perspective a little bit. Every time you get in your car, you're more likely to die than getting cancer, pneumonia, and coronavirus combined.
Like, think of this as a bit dark, but I had a feeling today. If I get an illness and die, I'd be happy. At least I'm living, I suppose, if that's hard to put. I don't want to be hiding inside and then live to 90 and do nothing. I suppose that's what I meant.
Yeah, and radiation.
You got to separate risks and outcomes. Like, I could go outside and get coronavirus. I could also go outside and get hit by a car.
Yeah, and even in a rare case, you get bitten by a snake or a spider.
Exactly.
Welcome to Australia. But no, yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's again. This is where I don't like.
I do value my life.
I don't like the terminology, but it's the best one I can use. It's bored house mums not seeing something on the news and then blowing it up on social media, and then people like us see it on social media and go, oh, maybe this is an actual thing, and then the government gets on TV and says, we're in pandemic level. So, and that's the thing, everyone gets all frightened and heady when the word pandemic comes up. It's like, you guys got to realize pandemic is lower on the list of contingencies.
Yep. Yeah.
To their disaster sort of thing. It's like,
and if they do announce,
I think you have warning.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you have something else to be careful now. Pandemic, and then there's like 6 or 7 other tiers before.
And the only reason they're going to them tiers is to add more precautions, so they've got more stuff in place. If they kept it on warning and everything was going fucking crazy.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think the government needs to come up with better words to describe it, because people from books and from movies that say pandemic. Oh, pandemic's it's like the last chance before it's a catastrophe. It's well, that's
before the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's I mean, personally, I think if the government's ever going to the government's not going to tell us if there's a fucking a full blown virus. I mean, it's a bit hard with how social media is these days, but I mean, all of us. I think the first warning is all the government's going to go fucking silent. They're all going to lock themselves in bunkers, and then there's going to be a big announcement, and then we're all fucked. But I mean,
like the Purge.
Not like, well, the Purge is a bit different. That just lets you go and kill lots of people for like 12 hours. But I mean, it's
if our computer screens start doing the yellow screen and then start doing whatever the emergency warning thing is, we've got to run.
Does it even do that? Or is it,
I don't know. I don't think it's TV. I have no idea.
It's TV on your phones. You get the national warning message or some bullshit,
and then you got to pack up and run. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm kidding. Settle down. Settle down.
Where do you fucking run, man?
Right, yeah, we covered the corona. Not to rush anything, but we're trying the fast podcast. We'll see how we go. I'll have a look at the analytics. As a Twitch streamer, you got to be good at analytics.
I mean, there's in saying that there are a couple of. I just want to add on the couple of things you add on. So, from what you hear from a lot of, I guess, bigger streamers, bigger than us, it's like, don't look at your statistics. Don't look at your numbers and all that, because as soon as you start looking at your numbers, you're going to start worrying about them, and you're going to go, oh, why haven't I got so many viewers, or why haven't I got so many subs, or why haven't I got so many follows, blah, 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 blah. And then you've got people saying, no, you need to look at your statistics and numbers so you can figure out where you went right, where you went wrong. Just have fun with it.
Exactly. Just as long as you're looking at it and having fun and it's not impeding everything. If you're going to do something and not enjoy it just for views, then there's no point.
Well, that's the thing. If you go into this,
you probably won't get sustained views because people are going to see you have no enjoyment in doing whatever you're forcing yourself to do.
Well, that's the thing. If you just do the things that you like to do, people might enjoy you a bit more for them than if you're just trying to get money out of people and stuff. And back to Bad Bunny. Fucking don't ask. I mean, we do the whole sellout thing as a joke. Yeah, see, there we go. Sellout thing as a joke.
There we go.
We do it as a meme and as a joke. I mean, if someone actually dropped a Twitch Prime, I'd probably jump around my room in excitement. But I mean, the point is that it's it's a meme for us, and we just have fun with it. And the bit of money that we do get from it, we put back into the stream. So it's like. If anything, the viewers benefit more out of Twitch Prime and subscriptions and stuff than any of us. But you should never ask your viewers for it. No.
I bought a green screen, by the way. That's an announcement.
There you go. Nice.
So now I can fiddle around with my background or have no background at all. I'll see how I feel. Play around with it.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, there's that. Oh, so there we go. Fucking a Twitch. Thank you, Blaine, now on Twitch for the tier 1 sub, man.
There you go. We've got a sub. If my podcast has done anything, it's gave Spazmo a sub.
It's given anything. It's given
leaving on a good note. I think we need to get into DBD. If you're watching this YouTube channel now, hop into our Twitch channels. I'll keep them in the description. If not, just follow us and you can watch us next time. I'm going to upload it straight away, so it's going straight on YouTube. No editing. Just slap it on there. It doesn't need editing. I've already edited enough. Big slap on YouTube. Thanks everyone for stopping by.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. Spazmo had a good chat.
Thank you for having me again. I mean,
that's all right.
We could sit here and go for hours and hours into talking about the coronavirus and Loke for and stuff, but it's we're trying this new shorter method of podcast to
Or maybe we'll do it again next week, and then you come back with I'll do another pick your own adventure, and we'll go from there. I'll get better at it.
I have to find a Telltale story of my own. I didn't think you were gonna do. I didn't know you were gonna do something like that, but I'll have to do that.
That was epic.
That sounds wicked.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hop on over to our Twitch. I'll let Spazmo dictate the ending now. Say goodbye.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We are going over to DBD now. Just give us a second, and we will trade that over. But thank you very much for the podcast. Thank you for having me again, Cody. Very much appreciated. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.